What's up YouTube, Jeff back again from DopeTechDaily.com. Today I'm bringing you guys my unboxing, initial impressions, and size comparisons for the Honor 8. Now I know a lot of people have already done an unboxing of this particular phone. Honor had a nice event out in San Francisco and a lot of YouTubers got invited. Sadly, I was not invited. Shout out to you guys at Huawei and Honor. You guys should really invite me. I've reviewed a ton of your phones now. I had some pretty nice things to say if I do say so myself. Next time, hit me up. I'd love to come to the event. With that being said, of course you guys know if people don't invite me, I'm going to buy the phone anyway and I'm going to review it. So it doesn't really matter. This is not a review unit. I paid my own money for this phone. I know a lot of people got it for free. And that's cool. I don't have a problem with people getting review units. But I got this one from Best Buy. So this is the blue Honor 8. Now, this is a 5.2 inch phone. So if you're looking for a phone that's on the smaller end of the Android spectrum right now, this might be a good option for you. It's got a really nice premium looking overall build. You've got 4 gigs of RAM in here. We'll look at some of the other specs in a minute. You do have a full HD display. As usual with Honor and Huawei, they've got sort of unique packaging. This sort of slides open like this, and the phone's in there sideways. This was also the case with the P8 Lite, and I think even the Huawei P9, which I have here. We'll do some size comparisons in a minute. So here's the phone itself. You can see you've got a micro SIM slot, nano SIM slot. You can also put a micro SD card in here up to 256 gigabytes to expand the storage. I'll go ahead and take that off. We'll get to the phone more in a minute. Look at that beautiful blue color. It really reminds me a lot of the blue sapphire that was on the Galaxy S6, the Galaxy S6 Edge. So you got some Honor branding on the back there. Just gonna take that sticker off. Oh look, the sticker comes off very easily with no residue, so that's always nice to see. Let's go ahead and just set that to the side for a moment. I'm gonna take a look at what else is in the box. So normally you just pull this up, and then a lot of your other stuff is gonna be inside of here. So on the side here, I think we're gonna have some information, a box that's got the charger, and then we'll have some instructions in there as well. So you've got your power brick here, right there. It does say Huawei on the power brick. It's a little weird, I guess, because it's the Honor brand. I guess Huawei is trying to sneak their own brand name into the US, even though I think a lot of Americans still can't pronounce Huawei. You do have USB Type-C here. You're not getting USB 3.0 or anything like that, but you're still getting USB Type-C right there. So with most phones nowadays, we're starting to see that with Android. So pretty standard stuff inside this little box here. Nothing too special. Something in the bottom? No, there's nothing in the bottom, just another little piece of packaging. And then of course, if we slide this out, I assume we're gonna have some documentation in here that I'm probably not gonna read. But as usual, let's just take a look at what's in here. You've got, oh, that's pretty cool. So that's actually something useful. One-time screen protection program. So if you register your phone, you get 3 months of screen protection. And I guess that means that if you get it scratched or cracked, you got a zero deductible, 100% parts and labor. So that's a really good look. Then you just have the Honor 8 Quick Start Guide, which I definitely won't read, but the screen replacement plan is pretty awesome. You got your warranty card right here as well from Honor. So you can see all of these have Honor branding, but the actual charger had Huawei branding, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe Huawei is trying to, again, sneak their brand name into the American market slowly but surely, using Honor, but with some subtle references to Huawei. All right, so that's everything that's in the packaging. And the box, you guys can see the branding, kind of got a nice texture to it. Pretty nice packaging and presentation. So here's the phone itself. This is a really nice premium looking phone for $400, $399. This blue color is exclusive to Best Buy right now here in the US. So that's where I ordered it from because I wanted this color. The blue is actually a little darker than the one that was on the sapphire blue on the S6 and the S6 Edge. I really like it. You got the glass back, you got the glass front, really nice feeling glass. And the sides, though, of course, are metal, very similar to like the Galaxy S6 as well. You've got your power button over here, which has actually got some nice texture to it. And then, of course, you got your volume button. So the power button there has got a nice texture that differentiates it from the volume. Definitely like that. Over here, you've got your SIM card, micro SD slot right there. And then you do have an infrared port on here. So for all of you guys that like to use the IR blaster for your TV, that's on there. You got a speaker on the bottom. We'll have to test that out. That's usually never the greatest. USB-C, and of course these days the headphone jack is going away on a lot of phones, so it is important to note that you've got a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Let me just go ahead and boot it up really quick. I might take a software tour in a separate video, but it doesn't hurt to boot it up. Maybe we'll go through the setup, who knows, we'll take a look. Let's just do a quick size comparison while that boots up. This is the Huawei P9, a phone that was international, not in the US. I paid a lot of money for this phone. I paid 800 bucks for it. And the Honor 8 is actually somewhat of a carbon copy in terms of specs. You've got the Kirin 950 processor in both of these phones, fingerprint scanner, slightly different shape. You do have the Leica dual cameras on the back of this one, but you still have a dual camera on the back here. It's just not Leica branded. So a lot of similarities between these phones, 4 gigabytes of RAM in both of them. Both of them have the same amount of internal storage on the base model, 32 gigabytes, with the 64 gigabyte model available as well. Slightly different build. This one's got a smooth machine metal instead of glass on the back. And of course, you've got the Huawei versus the Honor branding, but both of them 5.2 inches, full HD, 1080p displays. So a lot of similarities between these two phones, to be honest with you. And you can see that as well in the size. So you can see right there, in terms of the height, they're pretty much identical. In terms of the width, the P9 is also, I don't know, the Honor 8 is actually a little bit wider than the P9. And you can see in terms of the thickness, I would say they're pretty much identical in terms of thickness. The Honor 8 might be a little bit thicker. But if you waited, if you really wanted the P9 and you decided not to get it, if you weren't stupid like me and spent 800 bucks to import it, you could get this phone for 400 bucks. And essentially, for all intents and purposes, it's almost the same exact phone, just a different branding, and you don't have the Leica branding on the camera. But otherwise, very, very similar for half the price. Just wait a little bit. The other phones that I have here for comparisons, some similarly sized phones. You've got the HTC 10 right here. It's another phone in the same size class. You can see these two phones also very similar in terms of the height. You can see the HTC 10 a little bit thicker, at least when you hold it in hand because of the curve. They're actually pretty similar in terms of their side profile, with the Honor 8 maybe actually a little bit thicker truly. This one feels a little thicker in hand because of the curve. And then if you put them face to back, you can see that they're also about the same width in terms of the front there as well. Not a big difference between these two phones if you're comparing them. The Honor 8 a lot cheaper because the HTC 10 is still about $599, so you get this phone over here for about 200 bucks cheaper. And then of course, the most important 5-inch class device of the year, the Galaxy S7. This is the gold one. I still got a couple of these. This phone pretty much crushed it this year. You can see the Honor 8 is a little bit bigger screen size, so it's also a little bit taller than the Galaxy S7. The Galaxy S7 is a little bit thinner as well, as you guys can see on the side profile. And then if we put them front to back, you'll see the Honor 8 also just a tiny bit, ever so bit wider, not really that much wider. They're very, very close in terms of their width. So that's an overall comparison to some devices that are in the class of the Honor 8. Let's just walk through the setup here really quick. I'll skip most of this stuff. I want to set up the fingerprint scanner. I'll go ahead and put in my Wi-Fi password as well. They do have Google Keyboard on here out of the box, so that's kind of cool because a lot of these companies are trying to put their own keyboard, and I always prefer Google Keyboard to pretty much anything that any company is going to put on there, especially the Samsung keyboard, which I hate. So, all right, we can allow it to access the SD card. We'll agree to their terms and conditions. Enhanced internet experience. I don't want to copy anything right now. I'll add my Google account later. I just want to set up the fingerprint scanner real quick. So I'll go ahead and set the screen lock style with a pen here, and then we'll try to do the fingerprint scanner. I just want to see how accurate and how fast this is. All right, so let's go ahead and enroll our fingerprint ID. Got to put my pen in again, even though I just did it. All right, let's go ahead and put the fingerprint in here. See how fast we can do this. Try to move it around there. It's actually very fast. That's one of the fastest overall setups for a fingerprint scanner that I've seen. It's really impressive, actually. I'm really impressed with how fast it's set up. That setup is faster than the 6P, definitely faster than the LG V10. It's definitely one of the fastest I've seen for a rear fingerprint scanner. Here it says set up Huawei Home, which allows you to, feature requires following permissions: calendar, phone, storage, contacts, and SMS. And now if you look at it right out of the box, The actual home screen looks a little bit better because you've actually got some stock Google stuff on the home screen, unlike the Huawei P9, which I imported. It's got all the Chinese stuff out of the box. But if you swipe over, you've still got all this Huawei stuff on the phone. And you notice you still got some Huawei branding that perseveres through the software. So the software from Huawei and Honor, I would say, is an acquired taste. I've talked about this in my past videos. They are improving it over time, and it looks like they're going to make some even bigger improvements in the next iteration of their software. Let's just go into the About phone really quick. It is running EMUI 4.1 with Android 6.0 on here. And again, you see the specs there, Kirin 950, 4 gigabytes of RAM. Looks like I've got 22.6 gigabytes free out of the box, so you lose about 10 gigabytes to the operating system. So again, I'll take a look through the software. I imagine it's pretty similar to the P9. There's some compromises made by Honor and Huawei in this software. I don't like the non-app drawer, but that's not actually the biggest problem. But I'll give it a chance and I'll test it out for the full review. Also excited to get into the camera. That's always a big deal on these $400 phones. So I'll be happy to check out some of the features they've packed into this. Some of the new features you can get for a $400 phone that you could previously get in the $900 or $800 Huawei P9. So I will have a lot of comparisons coming up with this phone to the Axon 7, OnePlus 3, maybe even do a comparison to the Note 7 if my Note 7 doesn't explode in the next few days. Who knows? It could happen. I'll have more thoughts on that soon as well. That's my unboxing and impressions on this phone. Definitely like the build. It is a little slippery, but it's a very beautiful phone, quality build, super fast fingerprint scanner for $400. So we'll see how it does in the full review, but I like it quite a bit so far. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions about the Honor 8, drop them below in the comments. I'll be happy to get back to you. You can also find me at dopetechdaily.com. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content so I can bring you future videos like this. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Google+, the links in the description. I appreciate you guys checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.